What's happening, Fight Week Show, first Fight Week Show people, and look what the cat is dragged in. We have Aaron Abbey with us today. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Are you all right?
Uh, it's fantastic to have you on today, man. And to many of us and to people that know you, you're a real life superhero. And I just want to thank you for being here with us on our platform today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Yeah, man. And big up to Paul Ditch from the Bloody Good Show. Go and check him out. Go and check out his page. He hooked us up with Aaron. Salute to Paul Ditch on that one. Um, I just wanted to ask you, how's recovery for you following your last fight at the UAE? Body feeling good? Everything feeling good?
Yeah, to be fair, my body's feeling good. I've come away with no niggles from the fight. Uh, all the all the injuries I had before them, so I can have it. I'm having a week off this week just to let my body heal and get ready to move forward. But the body's good, and it's not many times that you get to say that after a 3 round fight. So I'll take it.
100%. It's one of the things I wanted to get to ask you first, just to say how the body is feeling and how your recovery is going. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And I have to say, researching you and watching your fights, um, like I said, I used the word hero earlier on. You became a hero to me in my mind, and just you know, just sitting here talking to you. Can you can you tell us about like your struggle with your illness, cancer, cystic fibrosis, and how that affected like your mental state, especially when you go to war, when you go to battle, when you go to compete.
Well, I was born with cystic fibrosis, which is a genetic uh, gene default. So
Mm,
I've always I've lived with that. I've known nothing different from growing up as a kid, uh, and I feel like the challenges I've had to learn through living with cystic fibrosis, going through cancer, and life in general, it applies to fighting. Like
mm,
fighting's real and life is real, and I
mm.
feel like because of all the challenges I've had outside of MMA makes me a better fighter. And I feel like also the lessons and the challenges I've had with MMA relate to life as well. I feel like they go hand in hand together to help make me a better person, help make me a better fighter, help me being able to overcome struggles that I have and problems in and outside of the cage. I think it's a one of the most real sports and things that you go through. And when I fight, I aim to express who I am as a person as well. I hope that that can carry on into my fights and the expressions that I show when I'm fighting and how I fight.
I mean, you're a real inspiration, to a lot of people. But what did it mean to you after that first fight out of 10? That you were told when they were telling you about the illness and cancer that you had, that was like a death sentence to you. What was that like, getting that first fight out of the way to then build up to all the other fights that you had?
For me, it was a massive achievement for myself, my family, and everyone around me. Because when I was going through the cancer, and obviously being told to write a will and going into an operation, not knowing I was going to come out the other side. Uh, for me, I wasn't over cancer until I'd fought again. It wasn't okay for me just to come out the other end and be
Mm,
alive. I wanted to get back to where I was before the cancer, doing what I could before cancer. And for me, like even though I'd had the all clear from the cancer, it wasn't over until I was back competing. So that was always my goal, going through it. For me to put that cancer chapter behind me was to get in that cage and compete again.
mm.
So being able to do that and get it done, in hindsight, it was maybe a bit too soon, and I rushed it a little bit. But I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't have that mindset and approach anyway. So for me, like having that first fight back in and getting out of the way, that was to me was putting that cancer chapter behind me and
Mm.
saying like I beaten cancer and it was over from there.
I mean, there's a message in itself from that. There's a message in itself. And what would you say? Because it takes tremendous strength and just mental willingness to go through something like that. What would you say to people that are going through something similar to you and just struggling through it? What would your advice be to people like that?
Yeah, like I can't sit here and say it's going to be easy and it's not going
Mm,
to be hard because, like I said, life's tough as well. It's not always like plain sailing and comfortable and happy. And I feel like you have to find things to get you through it, and that can just be like a bit of hope. Hope that you're going to come out the other end, and even when it is tough, it's not just going to go away in
mm,
a click of a fingers. You've got to have that mental ability to be able to push through the tough times and just find those little things. So for me, like setting a goal of fighting, that would give me a bit of hope. That would give me a bit of motivation to push towards something and keep fighting through those tough days and to come out the other end of the journey and just finding little battles and little wins and also like knowing the situation you're in and accepting it but fighting it.
mm,
There was times where like the only advice I could give to myself was, right, I'm going to bite down on my gum shield and
mm,
walk through this as hard as possible, and that would be my how I would approach certain days or certain challenges I was coming up with, because I think like sometimes like we wish for that like perfect life, or we wish for everything to be okay, and we always say we're going to be happy, but I just think that's not the case. And I think as soon as we can accept that and and still work with it and still
mm.
I'm happy because of the things I'm pursuing. They motivate me, they drive me. And you're always going to have challenges along the way and upsets on the way, and life's going to throw curveballs at you, but it's how you take them on the chin and keep moving forward and adapting and learning and progressing.
Yeah.
It's it's one of those games where it's you just got to constantly evolve and play through it, just like life.
Yeah, I totally get that, and thank you for sharing that, and a lot of the listeners that's going to be listening to this, hopefully, if they have a loved one or know somebody, or even them personally are going through something like this, maybe just that little bit of advice that you just given can help somebody along the way. So thank you for sharing that with us. I wanted to shift gear a little bit because you was fighting under the Cage Warrior promotion before your last outing with UAE Warriors. What was your run in Cage Warriors like to you from your perspective? Uh, you enjoy the run and where you are now with UAE Warriors. Uh, is it like a one fight deal, or do you have a multi fight deal with UAE Warriors?
First of all, the Cage Warriors. I enjoyed my time with Cage Warriors. When I was ill with cancer, I was actually in hospital one night having chemotherapy, and Ian Dean
Mm,
messaged me offering me a fight, and I explained the situation to him, and he just said there'd be a pair of yellow gloves there waiting for you when you come out the other end. So
wow.
it was that was again one of those bits of hope that I hung on to at the time,
Yeah.
and one of those motivations. So it was always something I wanted to do was go to Cage Warriors, and I got that chance, especially in lockdown, to sign a 5 fight deal in a 4-man tournament,
Mm,
and look at pushing towards that flyweight title.
mm,
So I really enjoyed my time in Cage Warriors. But at the end of those 5 fights, it was just about just seeing what's out there and doing a bit of traveling and exploring and testing myself on other platforms as well. Because sometimes when you lock yourself down, you're only fighting in certain places or at certain times. So I just wanted
mm,
bit more freedom with that. And I've only just been on one fight deal since then. Uh,
Okay.
just taking one fight with different organisations and just looking to see what's out there, travel, test myself against different world opponents and everything. But I do think I could be sort of settling down in the future with a promotion. So maybe some news coming out soon. Nothing 100% confirmed yet, but it's looking likely that something will be coming out within hopefully the next week or so. If everything can get over the line, and it'll be a big move for me and one I'm excited for.
Oh, you know what? That was gonna lead into my next question. That was gonna lead. Let me see, maybe I might be able to pry the door open a little bit, but because I was just gonna say, you were given a few weeks to leave, and now you've had 10 fights. You're on a 2-fight win streak. Now, are you now looking into bigger organization, bigger promotions like a UFC, maybe Dana White Contender Series, like some of the ones that we've seen very recently, or because look, you're a fantastic mixed martial artist, and I believe you need to be fighting on big stages. Anybody just need to go back and look at some of your body of work, and they can see what you're really about.
My aim's always obviously been the UFC. You wanna be at the pinnacle of the sport against the best guys, but also for me, my aim's always been the UFC because I'm going to get my story out there to a wider audience,
100%.
be able to help people that way. I've been one fight away from the UFC a couple of times before,
Mm,
and I don't think I'm there yet, even though I'm on a 2-fight win streak. And I do think the two losses before that, I
mm,
can argue my case as winning them fights.
yeah.
Uh, I was saying to my team the other day, they were arguing that really we're on a 4-fight win streak, and you're in a much better position there where you are actually, banging down the door for the UFC or Contender Series to give you a chance. Unfortunately, sometimes they just look at those two reds on there and see I'm just on two greens since then. So I'm still looking to be in those big organisations, and obviously the UFC's where you would like to hope everyone that aims for. But this next one that hopefully will get over the line is for me is just as good as that, and will
Mm.
be able to get my story out there in, to a wide organisation on a big platform, and something that's going to happen, and I'll be able to just keep looking from there, taking one fight every time, and just keep doing everything I can to keep growing and winning, and getting myself to challenging myself against the best guys in the world.
Yeah, man, 100%. And people, if you're not following Aaron Abbey, I don't know what you're doing. Go follow him on his Instagram right now. If you want to get that scoop that he's talking about, that bit of news, that exclusive that's going to be dropping soon, go and follow him on his Insta page. We're going to have his link in the description below. Go and check him out. Go and follow him up. As a BJJ practitioner yourself, somebody that that's we see some of the finishes that you racked up on people. Uh, would you recommend novices to get into mixed martial arts and use jiu-jitsu as a base, or maybe even just to get fit? Or what other style of base would you recommend for like starters, or people that are just getting into the sport?
Again, I think all disciplines can help you for fitness and also your mentality, whether you're doing jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking. I also think it depends like what maybe age you're at and injuries you're at. Obviously, you can do jiu-jitsu as you get older, as long as you're training smart. Maybe like go to the gi to slow it down and everything, where you're not going to be able to wrestle at that high intensity when you get later in your years. I think all disciplines can help you with fitness and your mindset. As for the best base for MMA, I think the best base for MMA is starting in MMA. I think
Mm,
now, like obviously 20 years ago, everyone was coming from a certain discipline and a certain background into it, and it was like striker v grappler. Those were the cases, but now the kids are training in MMA from the age of 4, 5, 6, and I think that's helped the sport grow overall, and develop and progress it, because they're 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 narrowing down what's needed for MMA a lot more.
Mm.
Uh, Training in some aspects that you wouldn't really use, like you wouldn't go. You can go to a wrestling session, freestyle wrestling, and learning turning someone over when they got their belly down on the floor. But in MMA, you're just going to punch them. So I think getting that base in MMA is the best option for the sport now and developing that way. But as for just being a novice and looking to train, everything can help you depending on what stage of life you're at, and also what you'll find more enjoyment out of.
100%. Let me let me ask you this. You're from Wales,
Yeah.
right? And we know in Britain, everybody loves football. Like football is one of our. It's almost like fish and chips when it comes to sport over here. Do you have any other sports that you watch or that you like to compete in other than MMA?
So as a kid, I played for Wales.
Oh,
I played up until under 17s level.
what position did you play?
I played mainly in midfield, but eventually I
Oh,
moved on to playing like right wing back in the Welsh Premier League for a team called Kevin Druids, and that was when I started training mixed martial arts at the time.
madness.
So like football was my first love. I like played with like in teams like Aaron Ramsey, Neil Taylor,
Oh
played
my God.
played with people like that. So I'm been a Wrexham and Liverpool fan, and I still go and watch Wrexham now when I'm able to on the weekends and stuff. So football was my first love.
Crazy, crazy. Let's shift gears there a little bit, but before we let you out of there, I mean, dropping some of the names that you're dropping. Aaron Ramsey I'm a big fan of Aaron Ramsey. I'm an Arsenal fan myself, and he did big things for us when it was with us, especially through our trophy drought and
Yeah,
some of the stuff that he did for Wales along with Gareth Bales.
yeah,
Those these were incredible moments for Wales, and Wales is being seen at least on the world stage in during Euros and the world stage. They did well. They did well.
yeah,
Um, and I'm sure it made you feel proud. Just watching those guys doing what they're doing out there. But
yeah,
let's talk about Liverpool real quick. I want to talk about Liverpool real quick because there's craziness that's going on with Mo Salah right now, and we saw how you came back in your last game and how important Salah is to help Nunes with that second pass to Nunes for the
yeah.
second goal. That was insane. But what's your view of what's Liverpool's transfer window this season, the mess that's going on with it, and the saga that's going on with Mohamed Salah right now?
I always I struggle to talk on like football matters in depth in the fact that like obviously we don't know what's going on ground level. I
Yeah.
think we I think well when you've been a professional athlete and you know what it's like and you're getting criticised and everyone's got an opinion from
Mm.
left, right and centre that you don't actually know. Obviously from the outside like us it looks like an absolute nightmare with trying to sign people and them ending up going to Chelsea and just like Liverpool, I think feel like have always been a club who've got their business done quickly and quietly, and I don't feel like that's been happening this summer. So it has been a strange one. I don't know if they're going to pull out the bag before the deadline ends and ends up with some people, and then obviously the league in Saudi Arabia seems to be taking players from everywhere. So that's a mad
Yeah.
situation for us all to comprehend at the moment, and hopefully it sorts itself out and people want to play in the best league in the Premier League. But again, we'll see what happens. But hopefully Liverpool can do something good to the end of the transfer market.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell. And last question on Liverpool before we're done. Where would you like to, or where would you hope for Liverpool to finish this season? And what accolades would you like to see them collect come end of the season?
I'm going to say top of the league. That's where I'd like them to finish. Realistically, probably happy with a top four. you know, if Liverpool can win the league and Wrexham can get promoted again, that'll be a good year.
That'll be a good year for you. Yeah, well, let's end it on that note. And thank you so much for pulling up today, man. I mean, I really really enjoyed this chat. Hopefully, down the line we can bring you back up again, and just talk MMA with you on our platform, if that's all right with you.
That's a great, mate. I appreciate you having me, and thanks for having me on. And I'm sure we'll be in touch again.
Fantastic, fantastic. People, it's been a fantastic show. It's been Aaron Abbey, fantastic guest. Please, please, please go and check out his Instagram. Go check him out on his page. We're going to have his link in the description below. And up onto the next video, people. Hasta la vista. We're out.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.